Check.
Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Bitch and Moan Monday edition of the JP Peterson Show, and there'll be lots of bitching and moaning today. There's lots to bitch and moan about. What an absolute abject disaster that was last night for the Buccaneers. Not like we didn't see it coming, but it was worse than I thought it was going to be. I don't know about you guys, but it was actually worse than I thought it was going to be. What a beatdown. And a lot of questions to be asked this morning about this Buccaneers roster, coaching staff, all of it is on the table today. And the commenters, the Petermans are already in, ripping it up. And as well you should be. My man, Nick Geddes, is in studio with us this morning from On3 Sports. What's up, partner? How are you?
How am I? after the weekend that we just watched take place, particularly in the sport of football, how am I doing? Yeah, you already mentioned it a bit on Monday. I don't know if there's a single positive thing that we are going to say on this show today.
No.
I don't know if it exists. And if we honestly, if we were trying to be positive on any week, we probably would be being disingenuous and doing a disservice to the sheer ineptitude of what is going on, particularly with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. After what we saw last night, you mentioned it, like you never thought it would be that bad. Yeah, me neither. Me neither. I heard people in this comment section last week saying, "Oh, the Rams are going to hang 50 on this team," and I was like, "Oh, relax. They're not going to score 50." Well, you know what? If it wasn't for Sean McVay having a heart and deciding to just take the second half off, it probably could have been 60-7.
He was once a Buccaneer.
Yeah, he got
his start.
He's
like, you know what?
He remember where he started.
Going to be nice to Baker, and Todd's a nice guy.
Right.
I don't want to rub his nose in it and score 60, which I easily could.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I've already hurt his quarterback. Already exposed them.
Yeah.
For the charlatans that they are.
Yeah. I fried 27 enough tonight. You know,
he doesn't need any more.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't make it too bad because then they might fire Bowles on the spot.
Levante David's a Hall of Fame type player on the back end of his career. We don't need to make him go through anymore.
No, why would you do that? And I like Antoine Winfield Jr. In fact, I like their entire secondary. I'd like to play against them every week. So I don't want to get them out of the league because they still think they can challenge in the NFC. We want to keep that charade going as long as we can.
We want to see this team in
That's
the
a
first
smart
round.
play. It's a good long-term play by, don't get your quarterback hurt. No sense in putting him in harm's way. Why, just have him turn around and hand it off.
Yeah.
The only bad part about that was all us guys that knew that they could have their way with the Buccaneers and bet all the overs for every Rams player. They only played one half of football offensively. So that shut all my parlays down that were about to hit. I know.
Did we even hit?
Because the Bucs couldn't freaking score.
If
the Bucs score one more touchdown, they might stay interested and throw the ball still.
We somehow
couldn't even do that.
We probably somehow stayed on the under yesterday.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I had the over.
Yeah.
I figured the Rams, since they named 31 points as easily as you possibly could do in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been 62, right? Can you double it? I one half, two half times two. No, just completely shut it down. No, that's what it's come to. Mercy. It's mercy by the other coach just to keep you from being embarrassed.
Yeah.
What is this? I knew it would be bad, but I didn't think it would be that bad.
No, that right there was as thorough as an ass kicking as you'll find in the National Football League.
So Stafford started what? 12 for 12?
12 for 12. Yeah,
12 for 12.
I was thinking the ball was never going to hit the ground.
Yeah.
When they were on offense.
Yeah. 12 for 12. Every receiver wide open.
They didn't even bother running the ball.
Need to run the ball.
We
didn't need to. Get whatever we want.
Yeah. And they can throw it to Kanata Mumfield or Jordan Whittingham.
Who?
Kobe Parkinson. Davis Allen. It didn't matter.
Oh, my Lord. I think I saw Lance Allworth out there or something. Bambi running around. It's just, my God, it was so bad. It was so bad on so many levels.
I actually thought last night, I've seen worse from Buccaneer teams because there's a lot of bad Buccaneer teams that exist in the 50 years of the franchise history.
A lot.
But I'm trying to find a worse overall performance from start to finish from a Buccaneer team that actually has talent on it and had a winning record. And I'm like, I don't know if I can find it.
And we're going to kind of deconstruct the roster here a little bit, and it might shock you. It might shock you where we're at right now. Because, listen, none of this is, a lot of what we've talked about all year long is, can this Bucs team be elite? Can they be elite? I don't think we've ever called them elite. But we said, can they be? They can get there. Here's how they get there. Well, there's no debating anymore. I mean, obviously, injuries have taken a terrible toll on this team. There's no question about it. This is not the team that we thought could be elite, not even close to it. And that's all injury related. But there's also major foundation flaws on this team. And, I think it starts with the coaching staff. And we'll get into that. Just to set up the show a little bit, Brian Bradley's going to join live from Benchmark International Arena. And we'll chat with Brad's. The Flyers are in the house. Lightning on a roll. Boy, that was a great win the other night.
We got something.
Oh, my God. Thank God.
Something.
Thank God we got that. And they got to win this weekend as well. So the Lightning are playing well. They're playing well. So we'll talk to Brad's about that. Trey Watson is going to join us in the second hour. Trey played for the Dolphins, played at Maryland, played in the Big Ten, and has done some broadcasting. So he's also one of the assistant coaches at Jesuit High School. So I wanted to have him come in to talk a little high school football, which does not get any coverage. They're in the middle of the playoffs right now. So, and to talk about some of the really good players, and then we'll talk some college ball with him as well. So he'll join us in the second hour. But let's jump in on the Buccaneers. And listen, there were so many bad things about last night. I don't even know where to start. I mean, just this defense is an absolute joke. It's a joke. And when you play a team, and we knew Sean McVay was going to just outcoach Todd Bowles, and that was obvious. It didn't look like the players were very interested either. There's just no pass rush at all. Guys, I guess the effort is there. I don't know. It's just everybody seems to stick to a block and can't get off a block. Yaya Diaby had a couple of moments, but I think even the sack he had was more of a coverage sack. The fact that Baker clearly is injured, cannot lift his left arm, goes into the blue tent, and comes out and goes back onto the field. In a game, at that point, any coach has to be real with himself and go, there's no way I can win this game. I can't stop this. It's very reminiscent of the Ravens game when Godwin got hurt and Evans got hurt a couple of years ago. Now, Evans, hurt himself. He pulls up lame with a hamstring. You put him back in the game to run go routes. I mean, and then he gets hurt again. Shocking development. 5 minutes left in the game, and you're 3 scores down, and you got Chris Godwin in the game, and he may have sustained a career-ending injury. Baker Mayfield cannot lift his left arm coming off the field. Okay? Now, it's not his throwing arm. That whole part is all part of your throwing motion, your entire torso. If you have this is an injury he tried to play through many years ago in Cleveland and has admitted that was a really bad idea. So in a game that you can't win, you're going to send your quarterback, who is the heart and the soul of this team, and maybe the only reason you got off to a 5-1 start, because clearly your play caller is inept. He has no clue what he's doing right now. He's in a fog. But you're going to put him back into the game, and then you're going to have him try to throw a Hail Mary from your own 35-yard line, which is when he gets injured. Are you effing kidding me? Are you watching the game? Tez catches one over the middle, and replay assist somehow comes in and overturns it, and you don't challenge it. It's a first down. It worked out. He got a touchdown, but you don't. Why are you not challenging that play? The replay I saw, he caught the ball. Just because replay assist said no, he didn't. No, I mean, I think you really look at that, you're going to get. You can, and that was a pivotal play at the time. It's like, and then the stuff you challenged last week was clearly not a catch. It's like, where's the consistency? What are you doing? It's just mistake. You're the defensive coach. That thing last night was such an embarrassment on so many levels. Sean McVay scheming up every Tom, Dick, and Harry, getting wide ass open. Stafford's out there like he's playing playground ball. It's a joke. And you're supposed to be an elite playoff team? Come on. You know? Yeah, last year, in the midst of this debacle of the midseason swoon last year, I'm like, yeah, if I were the Bucs, I'd keep Liam Cohen and tell Todd, that's enough. We've seen enough. And now, doesn't look like such a bad idea. It's a little crazy at the time, I do admit. But, and again, we love Todd. I love Todd as a human being. But it's just is at some point.
We're not paying him to be a good human being.
No, you got to win games. You got to go on the road. I see this every week. Teams that are, quote, undermanned go on the road and win games and play hard and are competitive. They figure out a way. Every good team we've played this year has laughed at us. Laughed. You're not even in the sphere of competition when you play the better teams. For the most part. Yeah, you beat Seattle. Yeah. Baker had a hell of a day that day.
Yeah, how did Todd Bowles' defense hold up in that one?
Not well. That wasn't a defensive win. That's for damn sure. The only games you've won this year have been because you let the other team score. They're probably going to score anyway. But at least finally figured out, let's save some time for our offense to win, and you got the win. But you're a defensive head coach, which brings a lot of issues with it in terms of keeping good offensive coordinators and other things. But one thing you got to be if you're a defensive head coach is have an effing defense. Have a top 10 defense. And most every year, this pass defense especially is in the high 20s. Terrible. The great wide open, awful. And that's Todd's gig, man. That's your gig. I mean, I could go down other, punting, on the plus 42 last night. Was that what it was in the first quarter? Well, you already know, I think they were down 21-0. Like, you already know you're not going to stop them. The only way you're going to win this game is to turn it into a shootout. And you're going to punt the ball. You're going to give away a possession. I think this was actually 14-0. You're going to give away a possession. And when you know that they're going to be in 2 or 3 plays, they're going to be right back where you would have given them the ball if you didn't make it. Because your defense sucks. The only chance you got is to keep the ball and score. And then you punt it. And your outstanding free agent punter that you brought in gets a 22-yard net?
Yeah.
It
was a 24-yard punt total, yeah. You
kick the ball from the 50, and you can't kick it out of bounds in a 20-yard inside the 20, or you can't get it in. You have a kicker that can't hit a box 20 yards by 53.5. That's not a big enough target that your kicker can't hit it in the box. I mean, the mediocrity is just off the chart. And then, we were doing this exercise before at the start of the show. Let's go through the roster.
Yeah, this is what the game was the game last night. There's not a redeeming quality that you could take away. It was an ass whooping. Sean McVay has had his way with Todd Bowles his entire career, and last night was the worst of it that I've probably seen. It was a walk in the park for Matt Stafford last night. I don't think he broke a sweat. Devontae Adams against Zion McCollum last night.
Woo!
Boy. Zion McCollum got paid this offseason. 3 years, $48 million, so $16 million per, $35 million guaranteed, I believe it is.
He's now your number one corner.
Because
your best corner who's leading the league.
Yeah, we restructured Dean's contract and all that stuff, basically signaling like we're moving on from you after the season, and he's got no reason to come back to this team next year. Morrison, so far from what we've seen, can't play, and he's also very injury prone, we've come to learn. So he wasn't out there last night. No Dean. It's like, I don't know what
the second round pick that had a hip procedure in college,
correct.
And then had to have another one in the NFL.
Correct.
And what is the most important part of his corner?
Your hips.
Your hips.
And,
okay.
we talked about it last week. He's very slow in his hip movement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Zion, Why did they pay him? Like, that's the thing. Like, they didn't have to pay him.
No, they didn't have to.
Do you realize that this organization let Antoine Winfield play a contract year?
Mm-hmm.
And he went out and had an all-pro year in his contract.
And then you had to overpay him.
And he had to overpay him, but whatever. But my point is, it's like you let Winfield play a contract year, but yet you're giving Zion money before his contract year. Why? Because Drew Rosenhaus was sniffing around $1 and you felt pressured that you had to get that done.
Well, I think their thought was if he goes out and has in his natural progression, because he was progressing very well. I thought last year he had a really good season. But he was progressing, not an all-pro season, but a good season. He was showing that he could be, and with his numbers, with his, he's a 4.3 guy. He's a big cat. He really looked like he was emerging as a number one corner. I will give Jason Licht that 100%. I'm not going to rewrite history, but he has had a dramatic regression once he got the contract, and that's hard to predict. I get that, but it is what it is. It is what it is. As you stand here right now, you got a corner that Davante Adams had his way with, who's he's a
Hall of Fame receiver.
Future Hall of Famer, and the guy that was throwing the ball is a future Hall of Famer, and threw 2 really good passes. I mean, great freaking throws to beat you.
Consider the fact.
So I don't want to go crazy. Everybody's like, "Oh, he's the worst corner in the world."
Well, consider the fact.
But is he $16 million worth?
Consider the fact that who used to be the number one corner on this team? It was Carlton Davis.
Yep.
Carlton Davis. What was he known for? Whenever he got the matchup against the big time receiver,
getting smoked by the good ones.
No, Carlton held his own actually against the really good ones in this league. At least he put up a fight, and that's usually actually when he would play his best football. My point is, it's like when Zion has to go against the top receivers in football and you're being paid to stop those guys, he's like unplayable.
Yeah.
Unplayable. And in fact, if they literally couldn't bench him yesterday because Josh Hayes was the only other option, and we don't need to see that. Trust me.
No.
I mean, you just had to just leave him in there and take your licks with it. The guy has no confidence right now.
Yeah.
Davante Adams, even in year 12 or 13, whatever it is, it's so easy. Like, they're giving up goal line fades, which is like the low percentage play near the goal line. No, the Rams can do it and run it to perfection. Like, yeah, it's just too easy. But my point is, and you were about to go on it about the Bucs roster and where it stands right now. A game like this makes you evaluate everything from the top down, organizationally.
Right.
And not just the coaching staff, not just the players, but also Jason Licht. And you have to look at the way this roster has been constructed. And we thought going in, okay, they've opened up a new Super Bowl window. Let's see where this goes. And I can't help but sit here and say, are they closer to a rebuild?
Well, here, as we look at the beginning of the season, okay, we said, oh, Hassan Reddick, I like this pickup. I really did like it. I thought he was going to have a big year. He hasn't. 1.5 sacks. I think he played well while he was in there. He played well.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, but he certainly wasn't a difference maker. He wasn't a 6. What we were hoping for was a double-digit sack guy that would get after it, and that didn't materialize. The pass rush itself is not materialized, and you lost Cansey. That's part of it, but for the most part, you lost Cansey. People are like, oh, well, your 4th-round pick, David
Walker. That's not a plan.
He's a 4th-round pick.
Counting on a 4th-round pick out of Central Arkansas.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
To change everything is not a plan.
That's not a plan. I agree. But so I mentioned him just because people talk about it, and that's not a plan. So you look at that front 7 right now, and Vita's going to be what, 32?
He's going to be 31 next year, and he has 1 more year on his deal.
Yeah. So you got him maybe for 2 more years. Look, he's playing well. He's a really good player, but he's
getting double teamed every play because they don't have to worry about anybody else.
Nothing else.
They look around and they're like, Diaby, he might burn us 1 player or 2, but we're good.
Yeah.
Anthony Nelson, no. Chris Braswell.
Jesus Christ.
Thank goodness.
Jeez, old Pete.
We're back. That's the thing. Like with Reddick hurt and Cansey hurt, you're just right back to what you were last year.
It's so nothing.
You're just Yaya, Braswell, Nelson, Logan Hall.
Yeah. And, at some point, Father Time was going to catch up with Levante David, and he's just not making the splash plays that he usually makes. It is what it is. I'm not here to grind that guy. He's had a Hall of Fame career in my opinion. But again, we, counting on a 35-year-old Bowles next to look, I'm guilty. I thought, Servassier is going to have a great year. Nope. But I don't get paid, a gazillion dollars. Yeah, 5th-round pick.
Who's the other option? Deion Jones, who was out of football.
Yeah.
How is it that at that position, which in the modern NFL is so important, it is so important to have athletic linebackers, and the Bucs have the most unathletic group probably in the entire league.
So I think if you want to say anything, it's like, and I was like, we need an inside linebacker to make a run here, no question about it. If you could pick somebody up, with Jalen Phillips or somebody up on the edge, let's do that. You might, if you could get another experienced receiver who could help you maybe at the deadline, and he did nothing. Jason Light did nothing, and maybe this is why. Maybe he realizes we're closer to a rebuild than we are actually contending.
Maybe rebuild's not the right word, because I don't think it's one of those things where you got to tear it down to the studs necessarily. But if the goal is ultimately to win a championship and to be among the best, and last night was a good litmus test. Like, you just faced the best.
Yeah.
You're not close. You're not close.
You're not close.
You're not close.
And I know everybody says, "Oh, this is a total overreaction. You lose one game last week. You're saying we got a Super Bowl." No, what we said was, let's just be patient and get to this manageable part of the schedule. Try not to get as many injuries. You're not going to win this Rams game, but there's still a runway ahead, and that's absolutely true because you're in this shit division. Yeah. And I've said it for a long time. This is not. Everybody wants, Todd Bowles has won all these divisions, and he's a playoff, division when he goes. You've won the crappiest division where nobody's been over 500 for 4 years, and you're nobody in the entire effing division. And we're propping him up like he's, the second coming. And I'm like, nah, let's see what, we got a game manager. Okay, good. Let's see if we, how's our guy? We're doing really well in one-score games early on this year. That's great. And then the last few weeks, we've kind of resorted to, the safe mentality again, which is not going to help you when you got a defense like this.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of and yes, will they go on a run and win the division? If Baker can come back in a couple of weeks, yeah. The thing is, I think you got Teddy Bridgewater now for probably the next couple of weeks. And not that he can't win these games, but how are you going to win them? Defensively? Offensively? I mean, Chris Godwin came back last night. He wasn't really running away from people.
I got news for you. We were just talking about the defense. Like, you have to overhaul the entire front seven, like the Rams did, by the way. The Rams are a good example. The Rams lost Aaron Donald to retirement.
Yeah.
They had nothing in that front seven. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, Jared Verse comes in.
Braden Fisk
comes in. Kobe Turner comes in. Byron Young comes in. They signed Nate Landman, the linebacker. All of a sudden, they're fine.
Yeah.
They just rebuilt it completely. Like, it could be done quickly.
Yes, it can.
But the Bucs just have not just done enough. And that I'm sorry, that does fall on Jason Licht. I love Jason Licht, and I'm not advocating for him to get out the building by any means. But they have got to be better from an evaluation standpoint, from a resources standpoint of finding the right guys in that front seven, because it's not good enough. But the offense is not without issues too, as we look at the long-term future. I was telling you before the show, we came into the season, you're looking at the receiving core and you're going Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Emeka Egbuka, Jalen McMillan, Tej Johnson. Okay, that's the strength of the football team.
Absolutely.
And it's got staying power. Okay, well, that receiving core is probably never going to play a game together. Let's just be completely honest here. At least this year, they're not going to play a game together.
Right.
Mike Evans is 32 years old. Even without an injury, Father Time was always going to get him. It was always going to happen, whether we wanted to believe it or not.
Yeah.
Well, now he's had his first major injury at 32 years old. That's probably going to speed up Father Time's process just a little bit, don't you think?
Yep.
And then Chris Godwin, as we knew him, is done.
Yeah.
It hurts me to say that, but you're not going to see the Chris Godwin of old.
Yeah.
You're just not. He's had one too many injuries to his legs. He can't move the same way. This year is a wash. He's ineffective. He can't get separation. He can't do the dirty work for you in the run game or the screens. He can't do any of it. He's a wash. And Jalen McMillan.
And you got 2 more years at $20 million.
Exactly. And Jalen McMillan has a fractured neck. You keep trying to tell me that he's coming back in December. I'll believe it when I see it. And then when he's on the field, what's he going to do? And then the tight end, Kate Otten. Side note, can somebody please sit this young man down and tell him he needs to put on some effing football gloves?
Yeah, something.
Something. This guy has butter hand. I mean, this is twice now he's had the ball ripped out of his possession.
Yeah.
Twice. It's effing embarrassing. And I keep people see him telling me, well, he's improved so much.
He has.
He looked
around. Last year, he looked so much improved.
Well, I think he's improved as a blocker this year. I give him that credit. And he has his moments in the passing game, but he's not a good athlete. Like, he's just a guy. He's an average tight end. Don't get your checks out and write them for Kate Otten yet. Don't do that.
No.
That would be a catastrophic decision to give him big time money. And none of the other tight ends can even touch playing 100% of the time. You need more interior work done because Ben Bredesen's hurt. And by the way, Ben Bredesen was never going to be a long-term option that you want. Cody Mauch's injured coming off that. Barton hasn't progressed at all. Tristan's playing the worst ball that I've seen him play in Tampa. And probably because he's having to play daycare next to Michael Jordan. Like, you start looking at this and you're like, damn. This is kind of bleak.
It is. It is. Listen, nobody has a whole lot of depth in this because Baker has been kind of superhuman and magical. And once that went away, last night it's just like, can somebody help this guy? They got a little bit of the run game going, but not much. Like, guys are dropping passes. They can't get open.
Oh, nobody's open.
Nobody's
open.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, I take it back. Emeka Egbuka on the first drive, the long pass, he was open. And Baker, because this has just been how Baker's been playing the last 6 weeks.
That's true.
He just is so late to the party, and it allows the corner to catch up and make a great play on the football.
Yep.
The Tez Johnson touchdown, you're lucky as hell that you got that in there because Tez is wide open.
He's wide open. He's late on the throw.
And he's late on the throw. Like, that's the problem that I see. Baker was playing out of his mind the first 5 weeks of the season, covering up a lot of warts. But Baker could be a roller coaster. He just can. And right now, you're at the bottom of that roller coaster, and he can't get out of it. He's injured. Now he was hurt, actually. Now he's actually injured. So you need somebody else to make a play. You need other facets of this team to show up, and none of it's showing up. Special team stinks. Your defense stinks. Right now, your offense stinks.
It's bleak. I'm going to get to some of the comments here. There's a ton, and we really appreciate you guys jumping in. So I want to get to these just out of the entire team. Yeah. I mean, I know it's Jarrett Verse, but yeah. Jeff B says, all we heard during the trade deadline was we need to get healthy. This ain't Madden. Just because someone returns from injury doesn't mean they'll be in the game shape or in sync with the team. Yeah, I mean, Godwin was on a pitch count last night. What else we got? Man, Bear Pigs says, Nick, you're right. Godwin and Evans are done. Sad. A lot of you guys, your handles here have changed on our screen for whatever reason. So some of you,
it's like a StreamYard update.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it ain't good. Greg DeCruz said we had glaring needs along the defensive line. Yep. Never had a chance. 05 says Rams rebuilt faster than Light has built anything. Ain't that the truth? Greg DeCruz says, Emeka was a luxury pick. Should they have gone edge rusher? I mean,
do you want to see they need him right now.
Yeah.
The problem is you're asking Emeka Egbuka to be all wide receiver one for this football team. And guess what? Teams are zeroing in on him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I'm good with that pick still. And based after I just outlined, for you the outlook for the room, you need him.
Mm-hmm. Our good friend James says the elephant in the room is Teddy B. I am more limber than that stiff for a backup quarterback. This team is freaking toast if Baker is gone. Manageable part of the schedule. Give me a break. Well, it is. It is a manageable part of the schedule. Your team is falling apart. That's the problem.
I don't even know how you even analyzed Teddy yesterday. I don't know. He looked slow.
He looked really slow.
But he hasn't played any meaningful football in 2 years or in 2 years and change.
He looks slow, and then that hat that he wears, the wool cap, makes him look funny.
He just didn't look ready to play.
No, he did not.
I know you're a backup, but they always say you got to stay ready.
I think I heard Rick Stroud say that he was
at a funeral.
He was at a funeral
so he arrived late and everything.
Yeah.
But no, he didn't look good last night, but it's not just him, clearly.
All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, Brian Bradley will join us. He's hooking up from Benchmark International Arena. We'll talk a little hockey. At least we got something good to talk about. Then we'll get to your comments and talk more about the Buccaneers. We got Florida State update. I want to get to that as well. Lots to get to. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. They're local, they are trusted, and they get results. If you're an active, make sure to call JeevesLawGroup.com. Send them an email, give them a call, whatever you like. They'll get free case evaluation. Non-attorney spokesman, officers Tampa and St. Pete. And the great folks at Genesis of Tampa. It's the end of the year. They got some great lease deals going on for fantastic cars and SUVs at Genesis. If you have not test-driven these incredible automobiles, the value is off the charts. You'll see when you go drive them. You'll think this is a bazillion-dollar car, and they're very affordable. It's genesisoftampa.com. Go check out all the lease specials. Great local company. Love them over there at 801 East Bears Avenue. Back in 3 with Bradley. Experience the art of driving at Genesis of Tampa, where luxury meets innovation and every detail is crafted for you. From the bold G70 to the refined GV80, Genesis delivers power, elegance, and technology years ahead of its time. Book service online, and our Genesis Experience Advisors will pick you up and drop off your vehicle. If available, you can enjoy a courtesy car while yours gets a complimentary interior vacuum plus a generous offer for your trade. Every new Genesis comes with the Miracle Advantage Plan, 10 years or 250,000 miles of powertrain warranty and 4 years of complimentary maintenance. Visit us at 801 East Bears Avenue or online at genesisoftampa.com. Genesis of Tampa, luxury redefined. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877-7799 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week, so go Noles. 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com. Although it may seem tempting to go without health care insurance, the financial risk far outweighs the gain you may experience. For example, did you know if you simply broke your leg, it could cost you nearly $7,500? Put on top of that a hospital stay, you could be looking at $10,000 to $15,000. Ensuring that you don't go uncovered is so important, as according to CNBC, high medical bills are the highest contributing factor to why Americans end up taking money out of their retirement savings, or worse, find themselves filing bankruptcy. So go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. Now, depending on your income, you can get plans for zero premium. Our experts will guide you through the process effortlessly. They will shop many plans and find the one that's right for you. I called and I have full health coverage through Florida Blue for zero monthly premium. It's a free call. So why go uncovered? It's a huge risk. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505. Are you having legal issues with a business partner or other legal business issues? The attorneys at Walters, Levine & DeGrave can help. Call 800-616-0384 for a free consultation. At Walters, Levine & DeGrave, we've redefined what a law firm can be with top-tier attorneys, personal service, and 26 years of success. From business law to civil litigation, we deliver smart, client-focused solutions. Walters, Levine & DeGrave recently won a $6.4 million jury verdict from a large real estate developer, and they can win for you too. Walters, Levine & DeGrave. Let's solve it together. Not attorney spokesman. For a free consultation, call 800-616-0384 or go to walterslevine.com. Offices Tampa, Sarasota.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance. A great time to do that insurance checkup. And you know what that means. Just give them a call, 813-877-7799. They will shop your homeowner's insurance, your flood insurance, your life insurance, all those great things, and save you money. That's the big thing. So give them a call over there. Great customer service. You will talk to an actual human being, and they'll take care of you. And Taliano Insurance, tell them JP sent you. And there he is, the Lightning Hall of Famer, to let us talk about something positive, which is the Lightning instead of the Bucs and everything else. What's up, Brian Bradley? How are you, my friend?
Good. Hey, I had to ask you a quick question. I know the Bucs lost last night. I know Baker got hurt. What's the word on with Baker right now on the street? Update. You know anything?
No word yet. No, we don't know anything positive. I could just say this. When you can't lift your left arm, that usually means there's some type of structural damage.
Well, they called it, a shoulder sprain?
Yeah.
Shoulder sprain,
but he's got to get an MRI today, so we'll see.
Yeah.
It's the same one he had hurt back in Cleveland like 3 or 4 years ago, which I think was dislocated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so not good, partner. Not good. Well, the Lightning are dealing with their own issues. You got an update for us? Is Cooch your point out there?
Cooch is on the ice right now. Looks like Vazzy's in net tonight against Philadelphia. You know what? All lines are rolling. Point is not on the ice. I heard he's going to be out for a little while. Probably, I don't know. All I'm saying is he probably won't be back for maybe this week. For sure, these next couple games. That's what I've heard. Don't know the exact.
Yeah, they got four?
Yeah, 4 games or whatever. They play tonight, then they play here against Calgary. They play Wednesday against Calgary, and then they go to Friday in Detroit, an afternoon matinee, and Saturday afternoon in New York. So they got a busy schedule this week with Thanksgiving coming in. Guys are all on the ice. Everybody looks good. No Hedman, no McDonough. Chernak's in. They've called up one defenseman, the guy who was a forward, the Russian guy. I can't think of his name. It's Groshev. He's been in training camp. He was a forward. They moved him back to defense. He's been in Syracuse, but he's in the lineup, or he's not in the lineup, but we've got extra defensemen here. We still got Santini. We still got Carl. We still got some of those guys that, played the last couple games. They're still here. But they called another defenseman up. Braden Point is not in the lineup. They just went through line combinations. He's not even on the ice. So I think Braden Point's going to be out for, like I said, for sure this week, maybe longer. But that's a big loss. I know hasn't played the way everybody expected, but he's still a game changer. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Nick Paul looks good on the ice. We got lots of defensemen on the ice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 7 or 8 defensemen on the ice right now. So we got lots of defensemen. Plus, McDonough and those guys are, McDonough and Hedman are injured, but. Yeah, 7.
Yeah, we need some forward
guys. Yeah, there's Cooch shooting right now. He's in the corner right here. He's just shooting. There he goes right now. He looks good.
Well, he looks good. He looks fine.
I saw him. I talked to him before the skate. Good. He looks pretty good. He said he's good to go tonight. What he told me. So the only guy that's not on the ice is, like I said, it's Braden Point. He's not on the ice at all. Obviously, McDonough and Hedman are out too. I think Chernak, he might not be on the ice, but I think he's playing. Chernak's not on the ice. So I don't think Chernak's not on the ice. That's why we called another guy up. So, but I thought last game, speaking of the last game, we won 5-3 with everybody injured. I thought, besides Hagel had 4 points. He looked unbelievable. Probably one of his best games I've seen him play all season, or even last year. He looked fantastic. And then, the goalie played outstanding. Johansson, he was fantastic in that. You know what I mean? Gave the team a chance to win, looked really good. He's in this end right now. Here's Nick Paul and James coming on a 2-on-1, shooting against Johansson. You know what? We look good. Oliver Bjorkstrand had a power play goal. You know what? Got up to a 4-1 lead and then, had some lucky breaks. But at the end of the day, you know what? That all happened. And you know what? Jake Densel's right there. He's playing fantastic right now. You had to say who the MVP of the team is right now. I'd put Jake Densel. That's my guy. So
it's good.
But
no doubt. And let's go back to Brad's. We haven't had you on since Thursday when we had that incredible overtime win 2-1, where Vassie makes that ridiculous save on his belly, somehow lifts his leg up, and then Cooch passes to Gensel or to Radish, and then Radish to Gensel. What a play to end a game. Where's that rank in your end of overtime regular season games?
Yeah, that was incredible. I mean, you know what? That game against Edmonton, I mean, I'll take you through the game in my perspective from that game. We should have been down probably 4 or 5-1, 4 or 5-0. Edmonton was all over us in the first probably 2 periods. And then Edmonton ran out of gas. Obviously, they played the night before. Then they didn't get in until about 3 in the morning. But they looked really good. Vazzy was outstanding in net. Made some big saves and, you know, looked fantastic. And then, you know what? Then Nick Paul scores a goal. You know, Nick Paul, who hadn't played a game all season, comes down in the last 2 or 3 minutes, scores a huge goal to tie the game up because we didn't think we were going to get a goal against Pickard. He was amazing in net. And he looked really good. And then Vazzy makes that save, and they should have scored. I don't know how he did it. He makes 3 saves in one. The original shot, then he stops one from his pad. Then he lifts his leg up for the 3rd one. And then, you know what? Then we score in overtime, you know. Jake Gensel rips one in overtime. It was unbelievable. I mean, the whole bench cleared. Everybody realized we won the game because of Vazzy. It was that save that sparked everybody on the ice. But it was an outstanding game to watch last week against Edmonton and Connor McDavid and Draisaitl and stuff like that. World-class team. But like I said, you know what? Like in football, the quarterback makes a difference, and Vazzy was outstanding in that game. You know what I mean? He was incredible.
Yeah, Brian, Vazzy is playing as good as I've seen him in a long time, you know, since the back injury. These 3-4 games that he's put together looks like vintage Vazzy. Do you think he's back to play? Because we need him as a difference maker. I think his last 3 games, he's gone 959, 960, and 959 save percentage. I mean, he's only given up 1 goal in every one of these games. He's been freaking phenomenal. We'll see him again tonight. Is he back to being the Vezina trophy winner that we saw for so many years?
Yeah, you know what, guys? I wouldn't be surprised. He looks really good. You know what I mean? Had a back injury. It's taken a couple years, and, you know, like I said, but he looks really good, you know, right now. They're just working on the power play right now. So Kucherov's out there with the Radish. They got Bjorkstrand on the far side. Obviously, Gensel's down low. They put Nick Paul as the bump guy in the middle, the big guy. So the power plays, instead of Point out there, they've got Nick Paul. And then obviously Hagel can go in there, but Hagel, Cirelli are so good on the other one. I think they got the other guys with, Gage Gonsalves and stuff like that. But, you know, our power play is so good. You know, I mean, Kucherov's just amazing with the puck. I mean, and Gensel is too.
Well,
you know, they got so many weapons out there. I mean, I know you're going to miss Point. I love Point. He's one of my favorite players, him and Kucherov. But, I mean, we've got a lot of guys that can make stuff happen here. So, you know, it's going to be a good game tonight. I will tell you this. Philadelphia's got a great record. They're 11-6. Their goaltending's played well. You know, Zegras has played exceptional. Travis Konecny's been playing good. I mean, you know, they're surprised. But for our old coach, played against him for a long time in the NHL. And, you know, he was coach of the Lightning. Rick Tockett's coming back to town for the Flyers coach right now. Yeah. So we got a little connection here. So, you know what, should be a good game tonight. And obviously we play Calgary on Wednesday. We'll talk about that on game day Wednesday. But, you know what, busy week before the boys head off for Thanksgiving and stuff like that. But, you know, it's going to be a fun game to watch. Don't know much. I know the goalies for Philadelphia played really well this year. I just talked to their GM, Keith Jones, who just walked by me. Talked to him for a second, but you know what? It's going to be fun to see how these guys are. I don't know much about Philadelphia and different things like that, so see what happens. But working on the other power play right now. They got Datsu up on the point with Hagel. You got Cirelli on the far side, James in the bump position, and no, Gage is on the far side. So yeah, this is the second power play unit right now. Cirelli has the puck down low. Datsu over to Hagel. So James is in the bump. Cirelli's down low. You know, Gage Gonsalves is up high. So I like that power play. Good speed, good chemistry, lots of good plays on that line. And then, you know, like I said, you can always move Hagel to the number 1 unit and, you know, move Nick Paul down to the other one. So I like Hagel moving up to the big one once in a while because he's so good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, to go back to Braden Point a little bit. I mean, obviously, you'd rather have that guy in your lineup, but he had been struggling a little bit, before the injury. In a way, do you feel like him sort of like not being in the lineup because of the injury right now? Like, is that almost maybe it could turn into a positive thing for him that he gets a chance to sort of like reset and like regather himself, come back in and maybe try to find his confidence again for the long run?
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes stuff like that happens for a reason. I mean, we'll be honest with you. I mean, you can't say Braden Point's been Braden Point this year because he hasn't. You know what? And sometimes if you're playing, not sure, not confident, sometimes you'll get injured. And you know what? You don't want an injury or anything like that. Hopefully it's not too bad because I don't know the extent of it. I've heard he won't be back maybe for the next few games. I don't know what that means, but at the end of the day, I'm just wanting to get healthy and get back to Braden Point. Because I mean, if you talk about Braden Point and Kucherov, and I know Kuch had 3 points last game, I'm glad he's okay because you can't have both those guys going down. But to Point's thing is he's a valuable member to our team. I know he hasn't put up the numbers, but when he plays with the puck and uses his foot speed, does his cutback moves, he turns a lot of defensemen, makes a lot of plays for guys that most people can't do. He's hard to defend again with his speed and what he plays with, and he's so fun to watch on the ice. And, him and Kucherov over the years have been so dynamic together that, you know what, but maybe he needs a time to sit down, maybe take a week, 10 days, 2 weeks off to get back to healthy. And, maybe get his game back in and come back recharged, ready to go and refreshed and put some points on the board because that's what we need. If we had him going and Kucherov kind of like it's surprising, guys, like Kuch is always in the top 2 or 3 in scoring and he's not this year. But if Braden Point and him are kind of where they were normally, we would have more wins. There's no question about it. But we don't. We're still doing good. We're still in second place right now. And you know what? We started off the season slow, but we've got all our engines going right now. And you know what? We're going to get guys back. I mean, you're talking about Braden Point. You're not talking about just guys that are calling up. You're talking about guys that are like, Hedman, McDonough. Those guys are all, Braden Point. They're all guys that are probably
Stanley Cup champions.
Yeah, Stanley Cup champs. They've done for a reason. Yeah. They're going to probably play in the Olympics. I mean, Ryan McDonough's got a chance to play for Team USA. Hedman's on Team Sweden. Point's going to be on Team Canada. So, I mean, these are world-class players. They're not just guys that are in the NHL playing on teams. These guys are exceptional players. And you know what? To miss 3 guys, and then I don't see Chernak on the ice either, guys. That's the other guy. So, I mean, right now we got 7 defensemen on the ice, and we've got 10 defensemen in the Lightning organization that are here because Chernak, McDonough, and Hedman are out. They're not on the ice.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what the deal is with Chernak. I know he played last game. Maybe he can't play a practice. He's day to day. So see what happens. Go from there.
Yeah.
John Cooper just blew the whistle.
All right, Brad's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
means you're done. Coop blows the whistle. That means you're done, Brad.
Yeah.
Off to lunch.
No, not to lunch now. It should be a good game tonight. You know what? Philadelphia, we always come and play Philly well, and Dazzy plays really good tonight. I'm going to go with a 4-5-1 win for the Lightning tonight.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm going to go low score.
All right. Even without our entire D core?
No, I'm going to go. Vazzy plays great. I think we've put some goals on the board. I think we win 4 or 5-1 tonight. They're not going to score many against Vazzy, knock on wood.
You heard it here, folks, right here. Cooch is on the ice. He's ready to go. Pointer's not. You get the latest from the great Brian Bradley, Hall of Famer, each and every game day right here on the thousands. We got thousands of people watching right now, so make sure all the PR folks know over
100,000 people right now.
When Bradley comes on, the numbers go through the roof. Come on.
Over now.
Come on.
I'll let you go, JP.
Love you, brother.
Cheers. Have a good day.
Love you, brother. Tonight. Thank you.
Go Bolts.
A light of positivity. The great Brian Bradley. A light of positivity. Oh, yeah. That's good. All right. We're both playing with it. Okay, good. We got it. Yeah, it is a light of positivity here in Tampa Bay when everything is so bad.
Yeah, we found something to to be a little bit positive about.
Yeah.
I guess it has to be the Lightning. It's always the Lightning, isn't it? You can always count on them.
Thank God.
And speaking of a team having to, I didn't know you were allowed to play through injuries and make it work and continue to win hockey games and be a point out of first place. I didn't know that was allowed.
You know, Kucherov, his first 11 game or first, I guess 8 games, he was a -8. And in this 11-3 run they're on, he's got 17 points and been a +7. And they're playing much better defense.
I think he's playing great. He's shooting a lot. You know, he has to. The power play, I still, it's a Bjorkstrand over there on the right side of that power play is just not the answer.
When Cooch feeds him a perfect pass through the D and he catches it top corner,
weak wrister,
right in the belly of the goalie.
Yeah, he's just not. He hasn't. Let me just be honest. I mean, we've had a little bit of a sample size with Mr. Bjorkstrand. He hasn't proven to be a great fit, I don't think yet.
No, not a good fit. That's a good player.
Some players are just not great fits. But if I know anything about the way Julien Brisebois runs this organization, how the Lightning are wired, if they find somebody who's not a good fit for whatever reason, they're pretty quick to make moves.
Yeah.
And try to figure this out. Because I don't believe for one second that they are going to allow this power play to continue with Bjorkstrand playing over there. And they don't have anybody they can put over there. Like people say, well, why don't they, Point's injured now. People kept saying, well, why don't we put Point over in that spot? That's not Braden Point's game either.
Yeah. The one-timer.
When's the last time you've seen Braden Point have a one-time slap shot or even take a slap shot? That's not his game.
And then, like, I see other teams, they park somebody right in front of the goalie. We don't do that.
No, they kind of have Gensel sort of roaming.
Yeah, he like plays behind the net.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of like, when is this bad? Like, let's try something different, like a different type of, I don't know. But to your point, they're starting to get a little bit of something on the power play, but I don't know. I think it needs a little bit more drastic measures. Let's go back to some of the comments that are coming in. This one from King Sorrowful. Not sure exactly what your other name has been. Sorry. Maybe you guys could put it in the comments and then I can match you up to.
Is that Bucs Basement?
I think it is Bucs Basement. It says Bowles can't hide the stench with the division title with Baker going down. Give them all the early story with him as the head. And not only that, defensively, he's been here since 2019. That's a long time.
It just seems stale, doesn't it?
It seems very stale. It seems very stale.
The message after the New England game?
Mm-hmm.
We'll play with more pride. We gotta have more fire and play with more intensity. And then they followed it up by playing their 2 worst games of the season.
Yep.
Not great.
All right. Another comment from Joseph Collins says, if Carolina wins tonight, they are in first place, but they are still have a tougher schedule, so the Bucs will still be okay. Yeah, we think so. But the magic of Baker may be gone for a while. And I'm not so sure Teddy, give him a whole week of practice. I think he's going to be a lot better. And Grizzard, I think, has become very predictable in his play calling. Although the execution is still a huge problem. Grizzard's not calling, hey, Cade, catch this one pass and then hand it to the defender so he can go run it in. I mean, the call, but good God, Cade, be better, What else we got here? On a positive note, the Slops roof is now completely finished. Yeah, that is the one positive. Thank you for that. What else we got? Here's one from James. Last night proved I need to get a life. We picked wrong head coach. Let Leo walk. I think that may have been the case. Jason pays Zion too early. Baker said, I'm okay, and he goes back in. Yep, that's all problems. You nailed it, James. All of it. All of it. Yeah, terrible. James says, all right, let's say Baker's out next 3 games. What makes anyone think that this limber as 2x4 backup can scramble from pressure or make a key third down? Even if the Panthers choke, who thinks this backup can play?
Well, here's the thing. The Buccaneers have to season, and they kind of have to go back to last year, because the one thing I will say, and the one thing they were able to do sort of decent yesterday when the game was still, well, the game was never in reach, I suppose, but when it was in the first half, because the second half just didn't matter. They are starting to run the ball a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
They're starting to run the ball a lot better. And I almost feel like Grizzard needs to resist the temptation to think he has to get the passing. You don't have to.
We could not protect Baker last night, and
you can't protect Baker. You don't have the guys outside that can get separation consistently. You have a quarterback that's just not finding them, and now you're probably going to have to play with Teddy Bridgewater. Bucky, I guess, is coming back this week.
Yep, Bucky's coming back.
And I don't think, clearly from what we've seen, it doesn't sound like there's any injury things that he's dealing with at this point. It's a mental thing, obviously, and I hope he's okay, and it sounds like he's ready to roll. So you're going to have your full complement of backs, together.
That should make a difference.
That puts Rashad back in a favorable role. Well, I still want to see Sean Tucker, by the way. I don't want Sean Tucker to just completely evaporate from the offense again, because he's still in hard and picking up yards. He's a big waiting to happen at any moment. But the Bucs have to have an identity shift, and they have to turn themselves back into a run-first football team,
pony package,
like they were last year.
Yeah, put both of them on the field. Put Bucky and Sean Tucker, or Bucky and White, or any combination, because they're better players than some of these backup wide receivers. They just are. Maybe better than, a better option than Chris Godwin. But Grizzard's got to reinvent what's going on, because it's very predictable, and he just can't continue to throw the ball. I don't care if you're down 21-0. You got to run the football if you can't block up front. And right now, the pass protection, Feeney is awful. He is awful. He can't block.
Isn't that kind of like the indictment on the way the offensive line has been structured? I know you can't control injuries, but they're not even calling up the guys that they had on the roster, because they're not even comfortable with them.
Where's Elijah Klein?
They had to bring in Michael Jordan off the street. They had to bring in Dan Feeney off the street. They don't believe in those guys. It's just as simple as that.
All right, we got to get into this too. Captain K says, now I can complain about FSU for a quick moment. I understood what you were saying on XJP. However, I can't put up with another season with Mike Norvell. So I'm going to have to quit for my sanity. Brother, I don't bother you. I don't blame you. Look, here's the deal at FSU as I see it. Last week I was telling you guys that there was a plan. And in speaking to boosters, Mike Alford, the athletic director, they were actively seeking to replace Mike. And yes, Lane Kiffin was part of that. I think there were others that you would call home run hires that they were trying to get. And obviously this is all confidential, because these guys have other jobs, and you don't want that out there. But obviously Lane is on the market, so we can put that name out there. And you may say, oh, they really thought they could get Lane Kiffin. It was, I want to say, they had a great shot to get him. I'm just saying he was listening, and they were in it. They were in it, and they could get him. And that's part of it. It takes two to tango. And in the end, obviously Lane had better options, and they could make it work. So what do you do then? What's plan B? Do you fire Mike Norvell to appease the masses and go hire another coach from Memphis in a cycle where all the really good coaches are locked up and the guys that you want you couldn't get? So just to appease the masses, let's pay $72 million in buyouts of everybody and go hire another Memphis guy or Tulane guy who doesn't have the chops. I don't know if that's a great idea. Keep me. But let me just put it this way. There's not a lot of good options right now for Mike Alford. And for those of you who keep saying, well, then why did you sign him to this big buyout? understand how it works. These ADs, like at Texas A&M, at LSU, at Penn State, at all these places that are paying, at Florida, they're paying huge buyouts. When you hire your coach, if you want to be in the room with the good coaches, this is the price you got to pay. You have no leverage. If you're going for the top dogs or you're trying to keep your coach after a 13-0 season, who's being courted by the number one program in America, Alabama. He's such a good coach that even Alabama wants him. You step up and you pay what you have to pay. And so you're in this situation. So if you're blaming Alford for this contract, you don't know how it works. It sucks, but that's the way it is. So this is the deal. This is the hand that you have. You can buy out this contract of Mike Norvell and spend $72 million to do it, or you can say, we don't know who the next guy is. And without knowing exactly who we're going to hire, we're going to keep Mike, take that money, maybe hire a new general manager. This is the Oklahoma plan that has worked out pretty good for them. It looks like they're going to the playoffs with Brent Venables, who everybody wanted fired with his 2 6-7 seasons with a 10-win season in the middle. Very Norvell-esque. So what did they do? They said, Brent, go back to doing what you do well, which is coach the defense. We're going to bring in a general manager, a real general manager. We're going to take personnel off your plate. We're going to get some new defensive coaches in here. We'll revamp that. Go pay for a top-flight quarterback and see what we got. And it's turned out pretty well for them. So I think the plan B for Florida State is to maybe hire a new general manager, which I think they should. Their current general manager is a guy by the name of Derek Ray, who came from Oregon State and brought you the great DJ, who we going to lay down now, and all the rest of some of these crappy players. He was also part of the 2023 portal class that went to 13-0. That seems to be more of an anomaly than anything else. But what he's done since then, the quote talent that he's brought in and the money they've paid for it doesn't look good. So they may get a new general manager, instill a more NFL type of model where you're not so beholden to these recruits. And I think this is part of Mike's problem, constantly trying to please the 17 running backs that you have on your roster and constantly trying to please everybody and giving them touches to keep them. And I know that's all part of it. But moving more towards an NFL model where he's not making personnel decisions, good. Go find a quarterback who can actually play this game. I think Gus is moving on. What do you think?
What, Gus moving on?
Yeah.
I don't know with Gus. I know he was asked last night about, is it your intent to stay next season? And he did his typical Gus, my intent is to help us get bowl eligible, and that's where I'm focusing on. That's the typical Gus non-answer.
Right.
I don't know about Gus, but
hopeful. So part of the plan is
I hope he doesn't stay.
Yeah. Is to move on, then go hire a hotshot offensive coordinator, find a good quarterback, redo this. I've gotten some people that have contacted me who I really, really trust in the game and said, Mike needs to go back to calling the plays. I don't know. Receiver talent, in my opinion. It's a run-based offense that doesn't play in the NFL, and good players are not going to want to play in it. So that has to be. So none of this is good if you're Florida State. But I think this is the best possible move that Alford can make right now. And I know it sucks because everybody wants change. We don't want to see Norvell anymore. I get it. But I'm just going to have to say this is kind of the rebuild until they can hire the coach that they want to hire, making another bad hire, changing everything, revolving coaches, losing players in your recruiting class, losing players that you have now that you want to keep. I think this is the best plan moving forward. It's not ideal at all, but I think it's the best of all possible worlds they can do right now. And I think there's a glimmer of hope with that plan. I do. I think it's better than just scrapping the whole thing and trying. Who are you going to hire? I see that look on your face.
I just cannot believe these things are coming out of your mouth right now.
Who are you going to hire?
I don't. What do you mean? Who are you going to hire? Like you're. Still,
if you fire Norvell, who are you going to hire?
Well, I would have gone after James Franklin. But you know what? You're so incompetent. You let James Franklin go to an ACC rival.
They thought they had something better,
and he's probably going to get that train going pretty well over at Virginia Tech with financial investment, knowing the coach that he is and how he recruits. You missed out on that. But I don't want to act like, oh, there's no other option better. There's plenty of great coaches out there. The problem is everybody is so infatuated by Lane Kiffin. And I get that. Lane Kiffin might be the number one coach, but don't tell me there's not great coaches that are available out there. There's not great coordinators available out there. And everybody is so scared of the unknown. Well, he's never been a head coach. Well, once upon a time, Kirby Smart wasn't a head coach. And then he became a head coach. And now he's got the preeminent program in college football. Once upon a time, Marcus Freeman was just a coordinator at Cincinnati. And then he turned Notre Dame into they've always been a national relevant, but they're a powerhouse, obviously. He just played for a national championship. Like, that's sort of the progression of what happens. You don't know until you don't know. But what I do know is I've been watching Mike Norvell coach the team for 6 effing years now. He is 38-32. He is 22-26 in the ACC.
The record is not good enough. Nobody's
stinks.
defending the record. And I'm not defending Mike. I am there anymore.
And even if you want to go recently, he's lost 17 of his last 22 games against FBS opponents. And everybody is throwing a party because, they improved this year. They won 5 games. Get the hell out of here with that nonsense. They beat Kent State and East Texas A&M.
I don't think anybody's throwing a party. Nobody's throwing a party.
They did not improve by 3 wins because they beat those teams. You lost to Stanford with interim head coach on the road. You lost to the worst Clemson team that I've seen in 20 years. You lost to NC State on the road with a quarterback who couldn't do anything. They had to take him out on 3rd down because they couldn't trust him to get a first down. Like you beat Wake Forest, you beat Virginia Tech. I don't give a rip. You're saying what we can't, why would we do this to uphold or to appease the masses? No, it's about upholding the standard. And you know better because you've been a fan of this team forever. You went to this school. You know what it looks like. I've been a fan of this team my entire life. I know what it looks like. And the standard is dipped around here. Who was the AD back in 2019 when they fired Taggart? Was it Cohen or whatever? Who was it?
Stan Wilcox?
Whoever, the president or whatever. Yeah. I remember whenever he said 6-6 is just not good enough at Florida State. Well, in 2025, 6-6 is good enough. And apparently 5-7 is good enough. And apparently 2-10 is good enough. Where does it stop?
If you want to just look at things in a vacuum, that's naive. That's naive. Well, what's the answer? Who are you hiring?
I told you, Maya, I would go and get Georgia's DC, Glenn Schumann. I like Brian Hartline.
And you know that the $72 million buyout and the $50 million or $75 million it's going to take the high. Like, this is the guy without question.
You're already wasting money keeping them around. You're already wasting. You went all in this year. You brought in Gus. You brought in Tony White. You revamped all that. You spent all your money in the portal again. Where did it get you? It got you nowhere. You're the same team. You commit stupid penalties all over the place like crazy. Friday night was an abject embarrassment.
Ridiculous.
In front of the entire world. I'm tired of watching product on the field, and the fact that they are going to go into a year 7 with this guy, and now they're deciding, well, we're just going to take everything off his plate. We're going to make it to where we can't blame him if anything goes wrong because he's not going to be doing anything. So you got a head coach who's not doing anything. What's he in charge of? Getting the team ready to play, making sure the team is playing disciplined football. That's the reason why they lose games. Why? Because they've outgained every team they've played this year except for one, and yet they found a way to win 6 or lose 6 football games. This is a dead operation. There's no future being built. They can't recruit top players. And as long as Gus Malzahn is the offensive coordinator from this team, everybody's like, oh, what if they land a great quarterback? It ain't happening because great quarterbacks don't want to play for Gus Malzahn because this system stinks.
You're not wrong.
You were looking at everybody that cares cares about this program deeply, myself included, and you are telling them that it doesn't matter. That's what you're doing. I don't think you're serious about football right now because you told the world that because you're continuing this charade. Standard has to be standard at this team competing to play in ACC championships games. And honestly, that's not even the standard that I'm talking about. But they can't even get to that. Fighting bowl eligibility against Florida, they did this 4 years ago.
It's not good enough. I get that. I understand that. But you got to talk about making decisions moving forward. And if you don't like the options that are out there, and, also, I'll say this. It's not just Michael Alford making these decisions. It's Peter Collins.
It's all of them. It's all
McCullough, the president, all of them. I mean, and it may be like, listen, unless you have a home run hire ready to go, we're not paying that buyout. You got to get the money from somewhere. And if it's like, so we're going to spend $72 million to buy this group out, and we're going to hire Brian Hartline, who's never been a head coach. We're going to hire, it's the guy's for Tulane. Sumrall, who's never done it in a P4 setting. Are we just hiring another Norvell? Yeah,
just answer my question. Name me one thing that Mike Norvell does well. Name me one.
I got nothing now.
He was so bad last year. He stripped himself of the ability to call plays.
But if you take the money that you would have used in the buyout, right, and put that into a new general manager, hopefully a new OC, more money for players in NIL, is there a pathway to build towards something until you can find the head coach that you really want? I'm not sitting here saying that, look, it worked in Oklahoma. This plan worked at Oklahoma.
Okay, but at Oklahoma, Venables is still calling the defense. Yeah. He's at least doing something.
I agree.
He's focused on one thing.
I agree. And the defense is a big part of what they're doing.
We're lining up right now to do this with Norvell being the head coach in name, but doing absolutely nothing.
It's completely dysfunctional. I do not disagree. But when you're in a situation where you signed this coach to this much money and you had to do it at the time, and your coach just completely shits the bed. Like, I've never seen a coach lose it like this. Never. We've never, ever seen a team win 19 consecutive games. 19 consecutive games against some very good competition, including LSU from your vaunted SEC and Jaden Daniels twice. Win 19 games in a row and then shit the bed like this. Like, it's unprecedented in the history of college football. Can we at least admit that?
Yeah, but it's not surprising because it's a Mike Norvell team. It's his operation.
He also won 19 in a row. And should they have not signed him after that? Should they have let him go to Alabama? Well, evidently, the answer to that was yes. But knowing what we knew at the time. Exactly.
The same problems, but here's the thing. The same problems that existed then, they still exist. The same problems that exist today still existed then. That entire team was made up of a bunch of mercenaries.
Yeah,
because
he got him to buy in because of the leadership of Jordan Travis.
As I've explained before,
yeah,
you were ahead of the curve on the transfer portal when it started. You and Ole Miss were leading that charge. Everybody is caught up. The more at the eyes, and there's more incentive to stay put. You can make money where you are, and blah blah blah. The portal classes are not going to be the same as what they were in 2021, 2022, 2023, when they were nailing it. It's just not going to be that way. It's not a sustainable way to build a program. And honestly, you're Florida effing State. You should not need the transfer portal every single year to build out the entire freaking roster. Yeah. That's the end of the day. That should not happen. You are in the state of Florida, for crying out loud. Act like it.
Yeah. Norvell has never embraced the high school recruiting and what it takes to recruit in Florida.
Oh, sure, he embraces it, but then it comes to signing day and he loses his big recruit every single time. He can't close.
Right.
He doesn't know what it's like.
Because the kids are not emotionally attached to him like they are other coaches.
Yeah, and if you're Florida
and there's
State,
no loyalty.
If you're Florida State, you should be praying to God that Lane Kiffin doesn't come to Florida, because you're going to deal with him and you're going to deal with Cristobal. And Cristobal, say what you want of him as an in-game coach, that guy knows how to recruit.
He does. Yeah, it's a shit show at Florida State right now. There are no great plans, and I'm not sure this is the best one, but I think it's the best of
what you have,
what they have to deal with. Yeah, it sucks. It absolutely sucks. And I'm not. Yeah, it's not great. And I don't expect it to get demonstratively better next year, but hopefully a little better next year, and then they can move on with someone else.
All I know is I just can't wait to see Mike Norvell on the sideline against Florida this week, and when they're starting to make these stupid plays, we'll get this, JP, right here.
Yeah.
What the hell was he doing on Friday night with the chest beating? What was that?
It's the Matthew McConaughey.
What the hell was that? And that's what he is, JP. He's a gimmick. He's a gimmick. We're climbing. You know what? I'll end it on this. He keeps telling me to climb. My shoes are coming apart. I'm tired of climbing. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to.
We're not going anywhere.
I don't want to do something. I don't want to climb.
What he
I
did?
don't want to respond. I don't want to have lethal simplicity. I'm tired of having catchphrases. What's Kirby's catchphrase?
Knock your dick in the dirt. That's his catchphrase. We're climbing, but unfortunately we're on a Stairmaster.
Him and Billy Napier, man, they should get together in the room, and that's what their job should be. As that they should both get. Billy Napier can enjoy his buyout money. Mike should enjoy his buyout money. They should put their heads together, and they should just come up with a bunch of cliches to tag the programs. That's what they could do. Scared money, make no money. All this crap.
It's brutal. Again, I just want to be on the record. None of this is what you would hope for. With the situation that Florida State is in, I think this is the best possible plan you could have. If you can't land the big fish, this is plan B. And I'm not thrilled about it, but it is what it is. All right, we'll take a break. And when we come back, we'll get more into your comments. There's plenty of comments on FSU as well. Trey Watson's going to join us as well, and we'll talk a little high school football here locally and some more college football. Whatever you guys want to bring to the table, you know how to get involved. Go to YouTube, the JP Peterson Show. You can go to Twitter. It's the holiday season, so come visit the wonderland of jewelry at the Gold and Diamond Source with over 25 times the inventory and selection of the average jewelry store. Guys, get your shopping done early, and if you have no idea of the trends and styles that your lady wants, that's cool. The incredible staff led by Julie and Steve Weintraub and family will offer up some great ideas with no pressure. They offer everything for the first-time jewelry buyer to the most exquisite selection of museum-quality pieces. Enjoy a comfortable, relaxed atmosphere and experienced staff, geologists, jewelers, and designers for all your jewelry needs. From the luxurious jewelry boxes to their VIP customer care, there's many reasons to make sure it's a Gold and Diamond Source diamond. Keep it local this holiday season. Shop online anytime at goldendiamond.com or just come by their showroom at 3800 Overton Road and always online at goldendiamond.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man, Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops? Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent-rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group. Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. Are you looking for an honest AC and plumbing company? I mean, that's like trying to find a humble Saints fan, right? Well, try my friends at Third Generation AC and Plumbing Services. Been in business since 1995 here locally. And listen to what one of their customers said. Quote, the gentleman providing the service was exceptional, on time, knowledgeable, professional, and experienced. He was efficient, cleaned up behind himself, and did the work expeditiously. He not only repaired a sink, he repaired our toilet that was constantly running. We have used this company several times. They are awesome. Says it all, folks. Testimonials really say it all. Call 813-961-8024 for honest, fast service. 813-961-8024 or thirdgenerationplumbing.com. We also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Hey, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source, an absolute wonderland of a jewelry store. It's like 5 jewelry stores in one. You go in there, they got the great bridal suite there for you. They have a great men's section as well, guys. If you're looking for a baller watch or a nice necklace for yourselves, yeah, buy something for yourself for Christmas. And of course, if you're looking for something for your lovely wife or girlfriend or both, whatever you're into, it's the Golden Diamond Source. And if you're going to get that ring, you got to go there because, number one, you know what you're getting. They've been in business for over 40 years. If you're trying to buy a diamond online or looking at a fake diamond, don't do that. It's a bad idea. Don't start your long-term relationship with a fake diamond, folks. Not a good idea. And obviously, Golden Diamond Source is the place to go. Great local company. We love them over there. They do so much in the community. So let's support our local businesses. I know Amazon is easy, but let's support some of those local businesses. And it's fun. It's fun to go out shopping to the Golden Diamond Source. It's all decorated for Christmas. They have a great staff there. It'll be a great experience. So head on over there, 3800 Alberton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. All right, Nick, you want to go through a couple more comments here? Uh-huh. All right. Hold on. I got to get your mic up. Try again. That's the one.
Good. There we go.
That's the one right there. Richie Rich 4379 says good quarterbacks and good teams torch the Todd Bowles defense. Ain't that the truth? Listen, and we talked about wanting to be an elite team, and obviously with these injuries, they're not. They might have been, but I don't know. Maybe with Todd Bowles, you just can't get to that elite status. I think that's where I'm at.
I don't even bother listening to.
That's where I'm at.
I don't even bother listening to like the post pressers or anything like that. But I'm sure he said that we got to coach it better. We got to play it better.
There we go.
That's the end all be all right there that you've been hearing every time that you have these issues on defense. And it's always the same things. It's communications issues. It's cohesion issues.
And that's what you say when you don't want it, when you can't call out your players or don't want to call out your players. And I'm not saying that's the answer. Just play better.
I mean,
you know what the answer is? Just freaking play better.
I mean, he kind of called out Zion during the week.
Yeah.
And said he hasn't been playing well. He needs to play better, blah, blah, blah. And then he responded by playing even worse.
Mm-hmm. Oh, TJC22 said, happy to call in the show and talk through the Oklahoma front office and what all went into it. Yes, I would love that. Let's set that up. DM me if you can. Email me, jp@thejppetersonshow.com. Let's get that done. Because I'm very interested because I know that's the route that FSU is going to go. And if it can produce a college football playoff team in the SEC, I'm for it. And there's no question that this is a transition. I think college programs are trying to figure out how to move from the rah for the team, come play for SC, fight on, come play for Georgia, to honestly a more NFL model. I mean, NFL players don't necessarily play for the logos. They're professional football players. You want them to buy in and have pride in the program and all that stuff, but that's more college historically. So maybe there's a new model. The money is flowing, no question. JDo7 says NIL and the money flowing into college football is making some traditional football schools not fun. I think that's true. Thomas Casper says FSU needs to stop trying to be UF. A lot of alumni say FSU is no longer fun. Yeah, because there's so much talk about money. What do we talk about at Florida State? How much is our NIL? How much are we paying the coach? What's the buyout? Like that's so much of, how much are the tickets? They're overpriced now. We redid the stadium. Kids can't get in. Students can't get in, and they're all in a lottery. It's a lot of that, and it's transitioning. But if you're running the program, you're like, I need to raise more money to compete with some of these other schools. Change is uncomfortable, and that's where we're at right now. I'll just put this up, even though I don't want to, but just to show that I'm fair with all your comments, James. Wow, never thought I'd see the day that JP Peterson laid down and drinking the Mike Alford Kool-Aid. You can't win that argument. I wish Knowles would hire Venables. At least he has one side of the ball down pat. Listen, I get it, but I also understand the situation that Michael Alford is in. And I put it to you guys. You really want to go hire another unproven coach and pay this buyout? I know it would feel good, but are you just digging another hole? Or you want to wait till you can hire a guy that actually has a resume in P4 and has done something? I don't know. I don't. It sure would feel better. I get it. It wouldn't feel like limbo. I get it. But,
it's just because what are you realistically expecting next year now? Like, we'll have to see how the roster looks because it's going to look entirely different.
Look what Oklahoma, I'm just pointing to Oklahoma. A very similar program to Florida State. Once great, automatic 10-win season, fell on hard times, some really hard times. Hired, the next great assistant coach in Brent Venables. Went terribly wrong, 6-7. It's bad. Then he won 10, 6-7, bad again. Didn't fire him. Redid the whole program. So I don't know. I don't know. And maybe it's a point to listen. You can get the money to hire Lane Kiffin, but you can't get the money to hire Sumrall. I understand that. I totally understand that. If you're writing the checks, sure, I'll pay for Lane Kiffin, but I'm not paying for some Tulane guy that's never done it before. He might be a great coach. He might not. We thought that about Mike Norvell. Nathan says Bowles won't get fired. We missed our window to hire better coaches this offseason. Vrabel or Ben Johnson need to wait till there's a better hire. Yeah. Or Liam Cohen.
It's worth noting that the hires that were in this cycle, Ben Johnson has the Bears at 8-3. And that was a 1-year turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots have had like the biggest turnaround that we've maybe ever seen in pro football. They're up there with it. They're 10-2 now.
Yeah.
What is it?
Who else?
Liam Cohen got him at
Jacksonville.
Now they're winning a lot of games where I don't believe in them necessarily, but they're winning games. You can't take that away from them. So like,
and by the way, in case we didn't know, Trevor Lawrence ain't it.
No, that's the thing. I feel like the Jaguars.
He's winning with.
I feel like the Jaguars could be a 9-win team if they had better from the quarterback position.
Yep. If Green Bay goes south, Matt LaFleur, Mario Christian asks.
I mean, in a heartbeat, I would sign up for Matt LaFleur. I mean, Green Bay fans want him out. Which is bizarre.
Bucs Cole Gang in house says, who are we going to hire? I don't know. James says JP Hartline can do one thing Norvell can't: recruit. He can't recruit. I am stunned at. Okay, we're still on that. Listen, I'm not defending Mike Norvell. Like, understand that. I am not defending Mike Norvell. Do you get that through your thick head? I am not defending Mike Norvell. I want him gone. I'm also a realist as to the economics of the situation. There's only so much you can do, given the situation. If everything were even, yeah, let's bring in a new regime. Absolutely, 100%. Chris Cole says a Bucs should hire Marcus Freeman next season. The Bucs? Marcus strikes me as a great college coach, and he's in a great spot where he's at Notre Dame.
I was going to say, I know the NFL is like the end all be all, but if you're the head coach at Notre Dame, I mean, how much better can you get? Like, what's the alternative? Being the Titans head coach? Freeman, and he's probably going to make more money being the head coach at Notre Dame than he would in the NFL.
Yeah, maybe.
I've never understood this call for Marcus Freeman to come to the NFL. I mean, some guys are just built for
doesn't seem like
the college game more than look at Chip Kelly, who just got fired. I mean, Chip Kelly and just he wanted. I mean, anybody I guess could coordinate Ohio State's offense and win a national championship. But he won a national championship as an offensive coordinator, became the highest paid coordinator in the NFL, and he lasted 11 games. And he's never worked in the NFL. He's a college guy, and that's how it is for a lot of these guys.
Yeah. And he's not easy to work with, as many people know. TJC22 says Summerall can coach. I think he can. But again, we thought that about Mike Norvell. We thought that about Billy Napier. We thought that about a lot of guys that have not done it at the P4 level and flame out. We thought that about Hugh Freeze. We can name how many? TJC22 says, but he's going to end up at Auburn or Ole Miss if Lane leaves Summerall. Yeah, somebody's going to hire him. Absolutely. And that goes for Alex Golish, too. John Hill says maybe the Florida governor needs to get involved. LOL. No, I don't think that. Steelers won't fire Tomlin. Glazers won't fire Todd Bowles, says never had a chance 05.
So many ways they're so similar.
They are.
They're both very hard-headed.
They're very stubborn.
Very stubborn and very just they don't like change.
Mm-hmm. Would you take Tomlin over Bowles?
No.
I would.
I mean, if I would, it would be like we're splitting hairs here, but I would not be this is so just fantasy land, obviously, but in a world where Tomlin gets fired by the Steelers, which I just believe they never will. But if he came open, I would not be banging the drum for the Bucs to hire Mike Tomlin. Not even close. Yeah,
somebody said Chip Kelly and Brian Kelly are available for FSU.
Oh, Lord.
No, thank you. John Hill says last 3 Buck games defense, 1,182 yards, 99 points after a bye week.
It's not great. Am I going to be wearing this? This is the second time I've seen this.
What's that?
My comments from a couple weeks ago.
What's that?
Right here.
Welcome to my world.
Am I just going to be wearing this one forever, even though I admit to you that I got that one wrong?
What is this now?
Remember when I said after the Patriots game and the sky was falling because the Bucs were 6-3 and they lost to the Patriots?
Right.
And I said basically like,
don't you remember 4-12?
Chill out. We're getting this upset over a team that is 6-3. And we used to kill to be 6-3. And I said that, but you know what? I've had 2 more data points come in since then that have showed me that I probably shouldn't have felt that way. So I'm on board with y'all now.
Okay, so let me get back because I kind of went backwards here with TJC 22. He said, number one, defensive staff is here we go. Here she says, as an OU fan, probably should correct you a bit. All right. He says the defensive staff is still the same since his first day. No, made 2 hires on the defensive staff. At least that's what I read in the article about Oklahoma, that they hired a linebackers coach. I think I hired 2 people on the defensive staff. I could be wrong. He took over for a roster. Riley ran into the ground. 3, his second, 6, and 7 season, he was out his top 7 wide receivers and 4 starting offensive linemen. Okay. He said the front office does the evaluations, then they take it to the coaches. They all grade players privately, and if they don't agree, they don't force players on the coaches. It allows coaches to just coach. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. So, and I think that's kind of where it needs to be and moving forward. Yeah, I think so. Michael LaRue, good morning to you, says Bucs need to send a message that being terrible isn't acceptable, regardless of draft capital, and cut Braswell. The longer he stays, the more players feel like poor performance comes with no consequences. Yeah, this has been a problem for Todd Bowles' teams. I feel like we identify very early on guys that can't play, and it takes him about 10 games longer to figure it out.
We believe in our guys. Yeah. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, Trey Watson is going to join us, part of the couple new voices that we want to bring on the show, and he's got a great resume. We'll tell you all about him when we come back. We are brought to you by the great folks at Third Generation Plumbing. If you're looking for a HVAC unit, they are the place to go because they have American Standard heating and cooling equipment, the best in the business, the most reliable, the most efficient, the best for the money. American Standard heating and cooling and Third Generation Plumbing is the dynamic duo for your HVAC needs. Go to their website, thirdgenerationplumbing.com. You can email them or call them if you're in an emergency situation. They will show right up, and you can see all the great 5-star reviews there. Great company, very reliable, and honest brokers. That's all you want from an AC and plumbing company, right? That's thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Back in 3. Stay with us. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com. Experience the art of driving at Genesis of Tampa, where luxury meets innovation and every detail is crafted for you. From the bold G70 to the refined GV80, Genesis delivers power, elegance, and technology years ahead of its time. Book service online, and our Genesis Experience advisors will pick you up and drop off your vehicle. If available, you can enjoy a courtesy car while yours gets a complimentary interior vacuum plus a generous offer for your trade. Every new Genesis comes with the Miracle Advantage Plan, 10 years or 250,000 miles of powertrain warranty and 4 years of complimentary maintenance. Visit us at 801 East Bears Avenue or online at genesisoftampa.com. Genesis of Tampa, luxury redefined. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877
$77.99 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week, so go Noles. 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com. Although it may seem tempting to go without health care insurance, the financial risk far outweighs the gain you may experience. For example, did you know if you simply broke your leg, it could cost you nearly $7,500? Put on top of that a hospital stay, you could be looking at $10,000 to $15,000. Ensuring that you don't go uncovered is so important, as according to CNBC, high medical bills are the highest contributing factor to why Americans end up taking money out of their retirement savings, or worse, find themselves filing bankruptcy. So go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. Now, depending on your income, you can get plans for zero premium. Our experts will guide you through the process effortlessly. They will shop many plans and find the one that's right for you. I called and I have full health coverage through Florida Blue for zero monthly premium. It's a free call. So why go uncovered? It's a huge risk. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505. Are you looking for an honest AC and plumbing company? I mean, that's like trying to find a humble Saints fan, right? Well, try my friends at Third Generation AC and Plumbing Services. Been in business since 1995 here locally. And listen to what one of their customers said. Quote, the gentleman providing the service was exceptional, on time, knowledgeable, professional, and experienced. He was efficient, cleaned up behind himself, and did the work expeditiously. He not only repaired a sink, he repaired our toilet that was constantly running. We have used this company several times. They are awesome. Says it all, folks. Testimonials really say it all. Call 813-961-8024 for honest, fast service. 813-961-8024 or thirdgenerationplumbing.com. We also do AC.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show as we roll through this bitch and moan Monday. Don't forget that you need to go to don'tgouncovered.com. That is the website to get you some cheaper health insurance. It is open enrollment time, so if you're looking for a new health insurance company, you just want to see if you can save some money, go to don'tgouncovered.com. I've used them for about 5 years now. They've saved me thousands of dollars on health insurance. Experts, they know how to walk you through all that website stuff for the Affordable Care Act. So check it out at don'tgouncovered.com as it comes up in my background right there. Perfect timing. All right, we want to welcome in Trey Watson, one of the new voices here on FanStream Sports Tampa Bay. He was an All-American and first-team All-Big Ten linebacker at University of Maryland and Illinois, two-time team captain, five-time academic All-Big Ten. You got good grades, too? Jeez, old Pete's played for the Miami Dolphins, XFL, CFL, PA player representative as well, and current Hitman's Haven podcast host. You got to tell us about that, and analyst for ESPN and the Big Ten Network. Trey, welcome, partner.
I appreciate you having me, man. Glad.
And your brother plays for the Packers, Christian.
Yes, sir. Christian Watson, number 9 in your programs, man.
He just came back, right?
Yeah, so he just finished, is it 5th or 6th game back? But, you know, healthy, coming off of the ACL injury at the end of last season against the Bears. Feeling great, you know, getting a part of their offense as they, you know, hope to get things going down the stretch run. Tight division they have right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Any thoughts on the Bucs? Did you watch that debacle last night?
Man, look, I tried to, and then I took a little bathroom break, and I came back, and it was like 31-7.
I got other things to do,
dude. Yeah, it was a snoozer, but you know, it's been quite interesting to see. You know, the Bucs started off the season great. You know, Baker, an MVP contender in every outright, and then Bucky Irving gets hurt, and you're kind of holding on a little bit, and then now it's just kind of everything fell off a cliff a little bit for him. But it's tough.
It's a week-to-week league, though. Get one more win, and everybody's happy again. We'll see. They got the Cardinals coming in, so we'll see. One of the reasons I want to get you in here is because you're coaching over at Jesuit. Great program, by the way. Coach Matt Thompson over there, good friend of the show. You guys have been in the playoffs like every single year, deep into the playoffs, winning state titles. So catch me up. What's going on over at Jesuit? Let's talk a little about local high school football since nobody covers it anymore. We're going to try to give it a little bit of a shot with you.
Absolutely, man. You know, so this is my second year over at Jesuit. big week for us this week. Third round of the playoffs, region finals. Third straight home game for us as the number 1 seed in 4A against the team that we lost to last year in the second round of the playoffs, Port Charlotte. So this time they have to come up to us. Yeah, it's a really big game for us. So, we're excited, right? Get an opportunity to play Thanksgiving week, like as a high school football player. That's nice. One of those things that's awesome, man. Wake up Thanksgiving morning, get breakfast at school, walk through, go Thanksgiving, go eat real good, and then go out there and play on Friday night, earn a chance to
you're not going to class during the week. So you guys practicing in the morning, like college and pro, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Thursday morning is that day for a high school football player, man. You want to make it to Thanksgiving. So season's gone great for us, man. Only one loss on the year to a top 5 team in the state of Georgia in Valdosta High School.
Yeah, they're good.
And, so it's exciting times for us and a lot of good football being played in the area that, like you said, we're just not covering to the extent.
I know. And your quarterback's going to Florida, right?
Will Griffin, yes, sir. Committed to Florida, one of the top quarterback recruits in the state and in the country. So he's a big-time player. We have arguably, I think, the number 1 recruited player in the 2027 class as a linebacker in Caden Henderson. And we got some talent in that junior class behind him as well. Trip Keller.
Well, tell me about Caden. What's his deal?
He's, man, a super athletic player. Anytime a kid comes in as a freshman at a program like Jesuit and gets to not only play, but he starts, basically the entire year.
Wow.
He has something to him. And these days in high school, it's like, how soon can you hit some level of maturity? And then the scouts are all over. So he's got length. He's got athleticism.
How big is he?
I say he's 6'1", 205, 210 pound kid. But that's kind of the modern linebacker, right? Like Levante David, who's all the time. It's these slightly shorter but super athletic dudes who can do a ton of different things, whether that's fill the run, play in man coverage against running backs and tight ends, and then blitz.
It's a lot to ask.
It is. The game is changing. It's so spread out. There's a lot of requirements, and players like Caden fit the future of the game.
Who's recruiting him?
The better question is who's not. My guy is on a plane every single weekend. Like I think this weekend he was in Oregon watching that.
In Oregon?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think last week he was at USC, so got to see USC back-to-back weeks, home and away. But I know Clemson is really high on him. Oregon has been hitting him hard. Alabama, Ohio State. Well, he's a big Florida State guy. So
is he a big Florida State guy?
Yeah. I mean, he's been up there at least 4 or 5 times in the last year and a half.
Who's recruiting him
program
from Florida State? Is there an assistant coach that's attached to Jesuit?
Honestly, I don't know.
That's not good. That's not good.
Hey, look,
you don't know if the coaches don't know who that guy is. Do you know who he is at Florida? Who the Gator rep is?
Florida, no. Man, I mean, I know
USF.
I mean, so Golis has been up there personally.
Okay.
And
so you've seen a coach. That's good.
He was my former coach at Illinois. So I spent some time with him. I brought some of the guys out to their spring practice.
Nice.
Well. So
nice.
We're trying to build a good relationship there, right?
That's good.
That's what it's about, right? He wants to kind of win and sustain the winning that he's.
Has Norvell been to Jesuit?
I think he's been there during the school day. I've seen him with Coach Thompson and stuff like that. So,
okay, good.
I know, prior to getting fired, Billy had been down there for Will and stuff too. But yeah, things are changing. Yeah,
they need to be there and present. All right, tell me about some of the other schools in the area that are still in it. Armwood still in it?
Armwood's still in it, right? One of the other top quarterbacks in the area, Reese Brush, also committed to USF. Guy who's been doing well for Armwood for quite a while. They're one of the powerhouse programs in the area.
So he's committed to USF. Nice, nice.
And they've got a host of other big time players. Jalen Watson, 4-star corner, looks like a big time Division I Power 4 corner, going to go to Miami. He's a big time player. They've got a really good squad. They've been ranked at the top of, I believe, 6A basically all year. So kind of they want to brush off what happened last year. They lost when they didn't feel like they should have. So now it's time to finish this season, and we'll see what they do. I think they have Southlake this week.
Have you guys haven't played them there this year?
I don't think they've played in the last 2 or 3 years. I know last time they played, I think Jesuit put it on them pretty good.
Yeah,
might want to avoid that happening. There's
so you're telling me they're scared? They don't want to schedule you? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying that, but they haven't played since I've been there. That's all I know.
Okay, all right, fair enough. St. Pete Catholic. They've always been good. What's going on there?
So it's they have a new coach this year, and they're having by far the best season in school history, which it kind of helps moving down to 1A. But they're going to play a talented Cardinal Newman team this week, a team we played early on in the season. They have a really good quarterback down there. Another team from that West Boca, Fort Lauderdale kind of area. But they're going to come up to St. Pete Catholic and kind of put them to the test a little bit. See if they're really really going to be one of those teams that can contend this year and then beyond when it gets to the games that matter.
Another small school, Carrollwood Day and Clearwater Central Catholic. They're playing this week.
They're playing as well. So CCC was one of my old rivals when I was at Tampa Catholic in high school.
Right.
They've enjoyed some really good sustained success over the years. Built some continuity. Had a ton of kids go off to play Division I football.
Yeah,
a lot at my first alma mater, Illinois. I think the Newton family pipeline there is like 2 players have already gone, one gone on to the NFL, and I think the third might be committed there as well. But gonna go into CDS and see what can happen. Again, another small school battle, but 2 teams that have done really well. CDS hasn't had the playoff success maybe that would reflect the caliber of athletes that they've had the last couple of years. But can they earn a big one against CCC?
All right, and Sumner, coached by former USF star George Selvey.
George Selvey's got that program rolling right now. We played them in an abbreviated preseason classic this year, but they're a talented team. They're very athletic. School's not even 5 years old at this point, but he's got that football program rolling in the right direction. But they're gonna run into a powerhouse in Venice, right?
Venice is always good. Yeah,
they won the state title I think 2 years ago. I think this past year they lost at the state level, or they might have won again. I don't know. But, that's a tough team to go down there and play. Venice has poured a lot into their football program, stolen some kids away from the Tampa Bay area as well to kind of help make that happen. But, Sumner's going to go in there with a coach that's confident, a coach that knows, what big-time football looks like and see if they can pull one out.
Nick, you got anything for Trey?
Yeah, this is more of a general question, but, of what I've known about high school football, you always know Jesuit's going to be a player every year. Armwood has always been a player, all the other big schools that we know. What do you think is like the key to like building that sustainability in the program to where it just feels like year after year after year, you always feel like you have a roster of guys who are super talented and are going to these big time programs?
It requires an investment from the school as a whole, right? Like Jesuit, since Matt Thompson came into the program, which was my senior year of high school, they did a really, really good job of supplying a guy who they knew was capable of building the foundation with the resources to sustain it. Everyone can have a one-off year here or there. You get a couple transfers in at the right time. We've seen a lot of those. Berkeley Prep had a nice little run the last 4 or 5 years, but this year not doing so hot. TC had a couple competitive years in the past. We were competitive when I was in high school, but it's kind of just faltered. Gaither High School does a lot of that same thing. But in order to really sustain it, you have to get your administration in line, your athletic director, and then where the resources need to be pumped, they need to be there. On the public school side, no one's done it better than Armwood around here. They've been good as long as everyone can remember. Matt Thompson was a large part of that as well, being there for a long time under the Callahan regime in the early 2000s and through my time in high school. So it really is about investment. I think in Hillsborough County, there's so many schools now and guys are so spread out that it becomes hard to really sustain that, right? Like even the plant program isn't what we remember it being even just a short time ago. So it's a big combination of that. But how do you invest into the program and give the coach, give the staff the resources to sustain it? A big thing in Florida is the talent level is and has always been high, but the resources put into the coaching and everything like that, they're not always great. Certainly at the public school level, there's a lot of limitations that keep programs from being able to have the right people in the building, the right resources for the kids. So it's just hit or miss. And
when you have these like blue chip players on the roster, and you mentioned Caden Henderson, one of them is one of the higher ranked players in this year's class. We talked about earlier, everything is about money. It feels like when it comes to like college sports and college football in particular, when you're having, conversations with these guys, when they're meeting with coaches and programs and things like that, what do you truly believe like they're after at this point? Is it all money, or is there other parts of it that, we don't talk about enough that they're trying to figure out is the best fit for them in the college football world?
I mean, money has become a huge part of it, and there's no beating around that bush. Like it is what it is. But at the point where money becomes, it's indistinguishable, the difference between a couple $1,000s here or there at these top programs, it's Do they feel that staff is going to be there for the long haul, right? Like a Florida State situation or a Florida versus an Oregon who has a Dan Lanning, Georgia with a Kirby Smart. Like those guys aren't going anywhere. So they can sell them on maybe the same or more amount of money, but then you're going to have a sustained group of individuals around you, especially at the top level. And you know everything else is going to be in place to get me to where I want to go, whether that's I want to be a college football star and I just want to make a ton of money while I'm there, or, hey, I'm 18 years old right now, but at 21, 22, I want to be talking about the NFL. Is this program, built to help me get to where I want to go? And that's what guys are looking for. How soon can you make an impact? Because, the coaches know these days, I don't have 2-3 years to let a guy sit on the shelf at quarterback, at running back, these big money positions. I've got to get the guys in, see who can play, figure it out as fast as possible, and then get them on the field. So that's what guys are trying to figure out as well, is where can I make an impact early? And then if there becomes a point where they can't, now they're ready to move on to the next program. And, they're jumping in the portal with 6,000-7,000 guys in the portal at one time.
Trey Watson joining us here, longtime Big Ten player, Maryland and Illinois. You've been to college, you've played professionally, you're coaching high school now. I don't think there's a better perspective to kind of encapsulate what we've been talking about here about how colleges are doing it now. The landscape is just, even since you were recruited, has changed so dramatically with NIL. What do you see as the best way to handle personnel? And should you be all portal related? Should you be digging into high school recruiting more? Like, what is your perspective on how colleges should do it now?
I mean, I think if you're a Power 4 level coach, that every year I'm being evaluated on how much did I get out of the portal class. That's where the vast majority of your money is going to go, because those are proven players. That's what it comes down to. That all the group of 5, group of 6 guys, all those top players are going to be looking for an opportunity to maximize their earnings and join a national championship contender. So it's how can you balance out your staff between a general manager who's doing kind of the salary cap thing with your NIL money, and then balancing your personnel guys who are trusting their evaluations and saying, this is what we see on film. This is how it translated into coach's offense, coach's defense. And you take those couple guys. For me, if I were doing it, I would go portal and then high school. I would be very selective with my high school guys, because I know, one, I don't have to pay them as much, but I might not get a return on my investment for 2+ years. So I've got to be very selective about the type of kid you're bringing in. Is he going to be comfortable coming into a situation where you're bringing in a portal guy in at the exact same position who is going to play, who he's going to know is getting paid more than him? So you do have to have a really, really refined strategy. And you see the teams that are doing it well. There's a stark difference. And Indiana comes in year one instantly into the playoff after basically zero relevance in their entire football history. Then he follows it up year 2. Now they're winning even bigger games and more consistently, and staff of people who he trusts to handle all those responsibilities, and the school immediately reinvested into him and that future.
That's interesting. And you look at Indiana, we got to find the next Kurt Signetti. It's not that easy though, is it? And so what you see him doing right is getting the right players in the portal. Like, you're Indiana. Like, how are you getting better players than Florida State, Florida? Like, how are you doing that?
So look, there's one part of it that is money, right? But there is another part that is understanding how can this kid translate into what I'm going to ask him to do in my program.
Evaluations.
That's it.
Talent evaluations, which I don't think we talk enough about. When I was watching Florida State come up through the late 80s and 90s, they had a very consistent coaching staff, but that coaching staff, the Mickey Andrews of the world, the Brad Scotts, Chuck Amato, all these guys would go out and watch high school football games, and they would evaluate these players, and they wouldn't always have, and the stars recruiting services weren't as big then, but I mean, they would evaluate the players, and they would hit, they'd know. So talent evaluation in terms of when you go hire a coach, to me, I want to see, how are you evaluating talent? As I look at Norvell and I'm like, he has no clue what a good quarterback looks like. Zero. because he's not recruited a single one that's done anything in college football. They might have 4 stars, and you see this all the time. Guys getting stars, and you see them play, and you see them work out. You see all this, and you're like, maybe not. He's not going to fit. So do you think talent evaluation is one of the most critical things that maybe we overlook in coaches?
It's huge because kind of like you mentioned, right? A lot of the assistant coaches, even just going back 10 years, they were doing a lot more of the talent evaluation themselves. There was a recruiting department, but it was 2 or 3 individuals. Now the recruiting side of things is its whole own entity, right? There's millions of dollars funded into just that staff who only does that. Because think about a team that's going into, conference championship season and the playoff season. How could an assistant coach be evaluating portal talent that's about to happen, and we have to do it while preparing to go play Alabama?
That's a great point.
And then 2 weeks after that, you got to go play a first-round playoff game. That'd be literally impossible for him to be prepared on either end if he's trying to split that up. So you have to have people that are solely doing that have the eye to be able to do it successfully, because they weren't those people doing it before.
Right.
So that's a huge thing. And like you bring up the Florida State example and the quarterback thing, like when you just look at it from a surface level, none of his quarterbacks that he's come in and asked to lead the program have looked one bit alike. You have Castellanos, small, super athletic guy, one certain style of play. Uiagalelei, completely different game. Jordan Travis for him, kind of just somewhere in the middle between the two. And that's where he experiences success. So when you sit there and you say, okay, well, you're going from a mobile quarterback, kind of mobile quarterback, to a pro style quarterback, to a super mobile quarterback, and you're expecting to get the same results or some kind of success out of all of them.
You're just throwing shit at the wall.
Yeah, it just seems like you're jumping at whatever is available or whoever took the dollar amount that you had allocated to that position. And kind of the success and or lack thereof reflects that. So there's got to be a consistent part to it that you say, this is the mold we're looking for. This is what's going to succeed in the offense I want to run, the defense I want to run that I trust. And if you're always jumping from scheme to scheme, from style to style, how exactly are you going to generate consistent success?
That's a great point. Nick, you anything else?
I was going to talk a little about the style of play, like in high school football. Like, how has it sort of evolved, do you think, over time? And at the top end of high school football, how does it resemble the college game at all? Or is it still something where you get to college ball and you have a period where you're like, whoa, this is like really, really different?
So in terms of like the physical skill set of each individual that you come across, it's always going to be a shock when you go up any level, right? Like if you're a big time high school football player, even if you're on one of the best teams in the country, St. Thomas Aquinas, IMG, you're among a really good group of athletes. But then when you get to college, especially at the Power 4 level, every one of those dudes in that locker room was the U all over the country.
Yeah.
And then some of them are 21, 22, 23 years old, even with the COVID years and all that stuff. So they're even more mature and their physical development is ridiculous.
It's a shock.
So that part is going to shock you no matter what. Now, in terms of like the style of play, right? Like all the spread and the throwing and, RPOs and all that kind of stuff. A lot of it does trickle down into the high school game, especially with the more consistent programs. But the cool part about high school, depending on who you ask, is you do still get those old school elements. Like, for instance, team we played last week, Naples, they're running like single wing T, triple option stuff. You'll get pockets of schools that have done that for the last 80 years in high school and still do it. And they win state championships at different places, different cities across the country. So you're going to get a much more wide variety in the high school game because region to region, city to city, state to state, the style of play, the caliber of athletes, it's just so different.
Trey, great stuff, man. Appreciate you coming in. Hope you come back and hang out with us next week and let us know what's going on with Jesuit. That's a big game. Can people get, because I know you got a big stadium over there. Can they just buy tickets, the general public?
Yeah, tickets are available. Would love to have everyone at this game, right? Like it's one of the few region final games that are going to be hosted in Tampa. I know some of the other schools have to travel quite a bit. But yeah, going to be a huge game. I know you can buy tickets. I believe they're all online now at this point, right? Everything is online.
Yeah.
And then you can also watch the game. Jesuit streams it on YouTube and also on the the National Football High School Network. So
cool.
You have options to watch some big time football with some big time players. However you want to,
want to do that. Want to check out one of these playoff games. Trey, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Nick, great job. Thank you all for jumping in the comments. We got to a lot of them. Can't get to all of them. We really appreciate you guys being part of the show. It makes it fun for us, and I really like hearing from you guys. The Bucs get one win, we'll look at it completely differently. So we'll see what happens next week. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow. If you missed anything, don't forget you can always check it out as a podcast on Apple and Spotify or wherever you get your podcast. We'll see you tomorrow.